Hello and welcome to Rizzaknits After Dark. This is episode 4. Thank you so much for returning if you are a returning viewer. And if you're new, I just want to give a quick intro. My name is Cassandra. I am 28 and I live in Metro Detroit with my husband Brian and our 2 daughters, Juniper, who is almost 3, and Viviana, who is 5. We also have 2 cats, and today is Saturday, March 26th. Tomorrow is Easter, so happy Easter, everybody. We're going to be at church tomorrow and then have a family dinner, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. I still have to make mashed potatoes tonight because I make some wicked mashed potatoes. Like, they're like half potato and half butter and cream cheese, so I'm looking forward to that. And it is pretty late here, 9:30, getting started. We're enjoying the fact that the sun is staying out later and later every night, but it does kind of push bedtimes back a little bit, so we'll make it work. What else? Oh, to start, I am sipping on this right here. It's not gonna focus, I'm sorry. This is Mackinac Island Fudge Stout by Arbor Brewing Company, which is another Michigan brewery. I'd like to keep it local. It is just a sweet, fudgy, dark chocolate stout. It's delicious. And yeah, so cheers. Yesterday, we went and saw Batman v Superman, so I am rocking my Batman sweater because we are Team Batman over here, which should make sense to anybody who knows me at this point. I am also a Slytherin. I don't think I mentioned that on the podcast yet, but I am a Slytherin, so that should give you a little taste of my personality, I think. I loved the movie. I won't give away any spoilers. I know critics are kind of, you know, going both ways on it, but I loved it. I loved seeing Batman. Ben Affleck is an amazing Batman. He really is. And we also got season 2 of Daredevil this past week, so we finished it. We binge watched it. We finished it. If you're not watching Daredevil, well, I will say it is very dark and very violent. So if you can't take it, then like avoid it. But if you're okay with some comic book violence, it's amazing storytelling, amazing characters. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix, so you can watch both seasons straight through. And then the other one on top of that, just because it's related, is Jessica Jones. If you have not watched Jessica Jones, it is probably the best show that I have ever watched. Like, we talked about it, my husband and I talked about that show for like a month after we finished watching it, because it was just so full of like social commentary and feminism and just like all of these amazing stories of like abuse, but like overcoming your, you know, your past and stuff. Is so good. Oh my gosh. Go watch it. Anyways, that's what I do when I knit. So we watch our comic book shows and I knit. I wanted to say thank you to Anna Lena. Her Instagram name is Ani Woodhouse. She let me know this week that Madeline Tosh put some Ray colorway in the DK twist back up on the website, so I was able to get it to finish my hat. So it hasn't come yet, but and I will show you how much I have done on that hat a little bit later when we get to works in progress. Also, let's see, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Stephanie. She is, I think it's pronounced Stephaniha Olaf on Ravelry. I apologize if I said that wrong, but I'm taking a stab in the dark. She sent me the sweetest message on Ravelry on Friday night. Or, well, Friday, I got it Friday night, and just telling me a little bit about her story and how she finished her degree after she had her 2 babies. After she heard my story, she wanted to share that with me and just let me know that, like, there's still time to do those things, and just really gave me some encouraging words. So I just want to say a huge thank you, because that really did make my night. And then I got another message from Heidi, who is Knitty Girl on Ravelry, and she, thank you, for saying hello, and she reminded me that I need to start a Ravelry group, which I will be doing, and I will let you guys know as soon as it's ready. I am going to plan on doing a knit-along soon-ish. I don't have all the details worked out just yet, but that will be happening, and I will do a prize giveaway along with whatever I end up deciding on for that knit-along. It's probably going to be something along the lines of knitting one of my patterns, because it's my knit-along, so I can do that. I just think that would be a good way to start a giveaway and a knit-along for me, anyways. Another huge thank you to all of you. You did this. I got my over 100 subscribers on YouTube, so I got my custom URL, because you know I needed that, because my OCD was not loving the letters and numbers. So I am now officially youtube.com/Rizzaknits. Isn't that nice? It's so simple. Easy to remember. I love it. And we kept it just Rizzaknits instead of Rizzaknits After Dark. I just wanted it to be all-encompassing, because eventually on my channel there will be tutorials, there will be, you know, reviews and helpful things like that. So it won't just be the podcast, it will also be other things, maybe interviews. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? So I just wanted to leave it open-ended, because this is my channel now. Yay! I got a little personal news, good news, you know, a small amount of good news in the grand scheme of things. My sister, who, if you don't know already, is pregnant with a little boy. She also has a daughter who's 3, and she got diagnosed with breast cancer. They found out after she found out she was pregnant, so she is going through chemotherapy for that right now, and she's doing pretty good. The baby's doing really well. But the good news that we got is she had genetic testing done, because the results of the genetic testing would tell us whether myself, my 2 daughters, and her daughter would be affected in any way by this. And it came back, every single genetic test came back negative. So that was a huge relief. I mean, if any of it had come back positive, it would have had huge implications for the rest of us girls in the family. So yay, thank God. That was a huge answer to prayers, and I know many of you are praying for her as well, so thank you. Continued prayers are always welcome. What else? I think we can get right into excuse me, I need a sip. I think I'm going to get started with some acquisitions, I guess you call it. Since the last time I filmed, I did win an Instagram giveaway, which is exciting. It's the second one I've won, actually. I won one from I Knit To Purl To, which is Karen. She's so sweet too. She's a wonderful lady. So that was an older giveaway that I won. But this current one that I just won was from Hank and Hook. They are a yarn shop, crafting shop in Canada. And I won 2 hanks of skeins. Are these hanks? I think these are actually technically hanks of Cascade 220 in my favorite color. I love this color. This is, yeah, this is good stuff right here. Does this color have a name? I don't know if it does, or if it's just a number. It is Peruvian Highland wool, 100%. I haven't decided. It does not have a name, at least not that I'm seeing on here. Color number 7827. But it's like a really beautiful like golden rod. It's actually, well, it's a little more golden than Batman, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these yet, but I do have a couple of skeins of like a plummy purple and like a chartreuse green that has a little bit of flecks of this kind of golden yellow that I had planned on using for some home decor, like pillow covers and stuff for our living room, because that's our color scheme out there. So I might incorporate those into something like that. Excuse me. And along with that prize was a pair of Knit Affair wooden knitting needles. They have like a really cute painted knobby end. They're really long. These are size 5mm. I actually did use them the other day to swatch with, and I'm not a huge fan of using wooden, especially like, I think these feel like they're not like glazed. They don't have like this slippery, shiny outside like some wooden ones do. They're a little more dry feeling. They're good for like slippery yarns and stuff, but I think what I might actually do with these is I have been really wanting to make a wall hanging, a knitting wall hanging. So I was thinking about knitting some sort of decorative pattern on them, leaving them crossed in the middle of it, and then coming up with a way to hang it, maybe with some fringe at the bottom. Wouldn't that be cute? Hanging on the wall, like a weaving, but it would actually be knitting. So that might actually work with some of this and some of that purple and chartreuse I was telling you about. There's more. I love this. I've already been using it since the day I opened up the package. I've started using it. This bag, it is made by a maker named Jezebel B. She's got this cute little tag on here with a ball of yarn and needles going through it. Really nifty because you can hang it on your arm and knit from it. So I have been walking around with this on my arm and knitting. I've even used it as like, I stopped using a purse this winter and I just have been shoving my stuff in my coat pockets, but I've used it as like a little purse too, even when I was like running out the door one day. Excuse me, I'm gonna take another drink. So anyways, I highly recommend this bag from Hank and Hook. You can find them on Instagram, Hank and Hook. Hank and Hook. I don't know if I'm saying that clearly. I tend to run my words together. But yeah, really cute design. And really like the fabric feels more like an upholstery fabric or something, and then on the inside it's like a plain canvas. So nice and heavy duty. It looks really fancy to me. And you all know I needed project bags, so that was cool. Another acquisition. I know I talk about her in every single podcast, but it's because she's become one of my closest friends, and she is incredibly talented and a fiber artist. And that is Rachel. Her Ravelry name is rkirk5, and you can find her Etsy shop. It is called Fuzzy Knitness, and she dyes the most beautiful yarn. One of my works in progress is in one of her yarns, so I will show you that a little bit later. But I wanted to show you, this is going to be incorporated in my next project. Like as soon as I finish up the design I'm working on now, excuse me, this is going to be it. And it is, she named it Rocket Pop, and I keep referring to it as Bomb Pop because it reminds me of a Bomb Pop that you get from the ice cream truck in the summertime. It is 80-10-10 merino, cashmere, and nylon. So it is ridiculously soft. Like, OMG, it is so soft. I don't even want to, like, unskein it. I just want to sleep with it. It's so soft. But these colors, okay. It is a bright red, which turns into a hot pink, and then there's this, like, splash of, like, this is literally the blue that you would find in a Bomb Pop, that it's that blue. And then some of it blends, and then you get these awesome purple, and it just looks like a melted popsicle on a hot summer day. So it is fingering weight, and I have been working with fingering weight a lot lately. As it starts to warm up, I try, well, so the thing is, I like to knit things that I can use immediately. I don't want to knit something that I can't. So I tend to stick with lighter or thinner yarns as it gets closer to spring and summer. So a lot of my designs are going to be with these thinner yarns coming up. Before it cuts me off, I am going to stop my video and restart it so I don't get cut off again. Okay, 1 second. Okay, and I'm back. So anyways, I just wanted to say about her yarn. She does have some available on her Etsy shop currently, and you should go out and get some because it's amazing. And my next acquisition, I will give you a warning now. It is my Hedgehog Fibers sock club. I believe most people have gotten it already. If you haven't got yours yet and you don't want to see what it is, here's your warning. Spoiler alert. It's coming. I'm going to show it to you. You can skip ahead like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. We'll talk about it for a minute. So there's your warning. I got my Hedgehog Fibers sock club in the mail, and I want to show it to you. So the first one, you get 2 skeins with the sock club for every month for 3 months. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Float. It is mostly this teal color base, and then it has like bright flashes of red and black. There's a little bit of peachy colors happening in here. A little bit of like a lime green. It's pretty heavy on the black speckles too. A little bit of orange. The peach turns orange in a few spots. There's even a little bit of purple, but mostly it's the teal. You can see that. And then a little bit of that crazy red in there. I love it. I don't know that it's something I would have picked out myself. I'm not 100% sure that I am not too controlling to do these clubs where you don't know what you're getting. After getting this, I was like, maybe that's not really my color, so we'll see. Maybe I just don't do clubs because I need to know what I'm getting. But I do love it. This is the second color I got, is Rift. This one, so I like this one more. I like the one with the teal more. This one is mostly a natural base. So it's like mostly the ivory. It's got speckles of black, speckles of lime green, some splashes of red, kind of a hot pinkish red, some dark teal, some navy. So I think I would like it more if it didn't have this lime green with black speckles. It reminds me of like an amphibian. Maybe as a Slytherin I should like that more. I'm gonna wait and see if it grows on me, because it is Hedgehog Fibers and it is really beautiful, unique, and quality yarn. If it doesn't grow on me, it may become your win because it might go into a giveaway. But I think if I used them together in a project that it might make me like them more. I need to actually unspin it and see kind of what the patterning looks like. I really want to knit with it just to see what it looks like, but yeah, not loving this color. Pretty excited about this one, but not sure what I would do with it. So there you have it, Hedgehog Fibers Sock Club. Next I'm going to talk about my works in progress. So I mentioned the Ray colorway from Madeline Tosh. I had what I thought was enough left over to make a hat from my scarf pattern. I had enough of the Pepperberry Knits cashmere, and I thought I had enough of the Ray, but I ran out. And then when I went to look for more, they didn't have it on their website. I went and looked on Ravelry in stashes, and there were several people who had it stashed, but none of them that said it was for sale or swap. So I posted on Instagram, if you saw it, that I was looking for it. And this past week, that's what I mentioned before, was Anna, who sent me a message saying, it's back, you can go get it. So I did. I ordered a skein. It isn't here yet, but it should be here soon. So I'll show you what I have so far. This hat, let me see if I can get all of these strings out of the way, maybe. It is a combination of two hat patterns. The first being the Regina hat that I made for my sister. So I used the, oh, hold on, let me turn it a little more. The band design that was on that to do the fan on the band again. So this is my Pepperberry Knits in the Storm colorway. It's like a dark gray. And so I did that band, and then instead of doing the same back on it, I did, it is Janas Hat. It's a free pattern on Hedgehog Fibers, and it is, let me see if I can pull it enough for you to see the lace work. It's a really pretty lace. It's kind of a, almost like a chevron pattern, the way that it does these alternating V's, but it also kind of reminds me of like little pine trees or something. Really cute. Is it focusing enough? Enough for you to at least get the idea? I think so. So anyways, I was pretty sad when I got this far and ran out, but help is on the way. Madeline Tosh restocked. Yay, I love them. Next work in progress is my Fine and Dandy leg warmers. I'm not making socks, I'm making leg warmers for the Fine and Dandy knit along with Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knitfolk and Amber of the Yarn Junkie. Podcasts, both of those. And they also both have Ravelry groups that are talking about the pattern right now for the knit along. So instead of doing socks, I decided to do leg warmers, and I'll show you my progress. I went with the pink and yellow. I had been working them, I cast them on 2 at a time, did all of the ribbing, did the first and second repeat of the flower patterns 2 at a time. And I had started, because when you get to the second repeat of the pattern, you have to actually start transferring stitches from one needle to the other in order to keep the flowers staggered. And the first time through, I used a stitch marker to hold my stitches until I got back around to them and put them on, and then I had to rearrange the stitches on the other end, and it was just getting to be not worth it to do 2 at a time that way. So I actually took this second one off, put it on some waste yarn. I'm just holding it until I get a little farther along. So I'm working 1 at a time now. I couldn't take it anymore. But I love how this is coming out. I have got a clearer picture of it, and you can really see the colors up on my Instagram, so if you want to check that out. But it's a cool pattern. It's a cool stitch. I've never done this kind of stitch before, where you knit into several stitches below. So definitely check out that knit along. I know they're going to have some like great prizes and stuff for it, so fun stuff. My last work in progress for today is my next design, next pattern that I'm working on writing. It is a summer tank top, spring, summer. I am using, so this is by Rachel again of Fuzzy Knitness, my friend. She dyed this amazing colorway for me, and I've got better pictures of it up on my Instagram if you'd like to really check out the color. It's so beautiful. It is, so it looks like a natural base color, but as soon as you get it in like natural light, you see that she really dyed all of it with like a faint yellowy green, which is like my favorite. You guys know I love yellow at this point. And that like light spring green, like when the grass first starts growing in the beginning of spring, it's like that kind of a green. And then it has hot pink speckles with gray speckles, and the gray almost has more of like a purpley hint to it. I love it. And this is merino and silk. So it's got a really nice sheen too, and like it's really soft. Like it just feels like shiny. I am using, so I forgot to mention, most of my projects are on my Chai Goose, which I love. I have the complete interchangeable set of the Chai Goose red lace. They are super slick. Extremely pointed ends. I love these pointed ends. I actually occasionally will injure my finger because I push my stitches back, and if I'm using one of my smaller needles, it's so sharp that I have done that, but I don't even care because they knit so beautifully. Their cables are like I want to say like a metal mesh cord that is encased in this red plastic, so they are super strong. And the best thing about them is, so most needles, when you pull them out, they want to coil up, and they stay coiled up because they've been curled for so long. These pop right open, no flipping constantly, because that drives me crazy. So I love my Chai Goose. I always use these, but since I currently had my longest cable for my small half of the set, I should explain that better. The Chai Goose come with one half of your set is large and one half of your set is small needles. And so for the large set, there's 3 cable lengths, and for the small set, there's 3 cable lengths. So I was currently using my longest cable length on a different project, and I wanted a really long cable for my current design project. And I happen to have the right size on a really long cable of Knitter's Pride Dreams. They're really beautiful needles. They're wood. They have like a slick varnish on them. They're interchangeable. They have the hole for, what do you call it? Your lifeline. They have the lifeline hold. Chai Goose also have that. But the only thing I don't like is the joins are a little rickety to me. Like they kind of catch a little bit on my stitches. Chai Goose, there's no catching. They're like completely smooth. They're perfect to my opinion. Everybody's got a different favorite, different opinion. My highly recommended choice would be Chai Goose. But these are working for this project, and especially because this yarn I'm using has some silk content. It is pretty slick, so the wooden needles work for that. I do feel like I knit slower on the wooden needles, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta slow down. So anyways, getting to the project. It is going to be a tank top, but some of the fun little details about it. So if I hold it this way, you'll see this is the front. this is the back, and it has this slant that goes down, so it is a lower back. It's going to have a collection of I-cord straps that are going to cross in different interesting patterns from front to back. So the back will actually have some interesting crossing I-cord straps going on, which I will reveal when I get that far. It looks short right now, but that's because my next step is going to be picking up stitches along the bottom hem. So you'll have that illusion of it being two pieces layered. It'll have a little bit of, you know, textural interest at that point. And the back, I will leave that as a surprise what I'm doing back there, but I have a really fun plan for making the bottom of it a little unique and something different and fun for summer. And I used I-cord edging all around to keep that stockinette nice and tight. There's a couple tricks in there that I will explain in the pattern to make it just a really nice smooth seam. But yeah, so this is fun. This is like all I've been able to think about lately, because once I get a pattern in my head, I can't think about anything else until I get it in my hands and on the paper. So I'm using my super cute golden snitch marker that is also made by Rachel of Fuzzy Knitness. She makes these amazing little stitch markers. I've actually gotten a chance to help her make some of them too, so they are lovingly hand put together, crafted. Each one is individually put together. They're so cute. It's got a little weight to it, which I really like. As a stitch marker, when you're slipping it to your other needle, it keeps it weighted down so it doesn't want to pop up or bounce away. Like, I've had that happen with stitch markers all the time, where you go to slip it and it bounces because it's so light. But because this one has a little weight to it, where did it go? There it is. See how it hangs? I love it. It pulls it a little bit. That is all of my works in progress right now. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit too, as I was working through this pattern, a similar theme always comes through to me. I'm always reminded when I'm working on patterns, I have an idea, have a vision for the way I think something should be, and I try to just start, get into it, and work out the kinks as I go along. I'm sure you are sick of hearing me say this by now, but my whole life philosophy is just I make it up as I go along, and we see what happens. And usually things go really well that way. Less stress, less worry. You just go with the flow. So I take the same philosophy with my knitting. I started the project, and twice now I've had to undo, either knit backwards for an extended amount of time or drop down and pick up stitches and tear out. And that's just part of the design process. But what it reminds me of is in life, when we make plans or have a vision for the way things should be, to not be afraid to tear it out, to take steps backwards if you have to. I feel like it shouldn't be something to be afraid of, to make mistakes or to have to redo something. If things aren't going perfectly, don't be afraid to change, to make the changes in the moment. Because wouldn't you rather make a change now than wait until you're so far into a project or so far into something in your life that it just becomes this insurmountable thing? Like, in the moment, make the change, do it. I'm sure I could have said that way more eloquently, but hopefully you get the gist of it. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of taking a few steps back if you have to. Because in the end, things turn out all right. This came out exactly how I wanted it. It took a couple of tries. It took a few, you know, missteps and pulling things out and changing course. But that's what I wanted. It's exactly how I wanted it. And I made it in a way that is the most simple, so that when you go to do the pattern, you can fly through it without any issues, and it should be nice and easy. Speaking of flying through patterns, my test knitters, my lovely ladies who offered to test knit my so I didn't even tell you guys this yet. I named the stripy top Cobain because it was heavily influenced by Kurt Cobain and grunge 90s style. It's kind of that effortlessly cool kind of an edge to it. So it's called the Cobain, and they are flying through the test knitting of it because it is a worsted weight and it is sleeveless. So you guys are going to love the pattern. It should be ready probably within a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And I'm about to get cut off again, so I'm going to stop and say my goodbyes. Alright, so I want to just say a huge thank you to all of you for sticking with me through this whole episode. And to say good night and happy knitting, and I will see you guys next time on Rizzaknits After Dark. Thank you.